Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Heavy Fog. Here in, I'm going to say UK more broadly, it wasn't just London. There was quite a bit of fog, freezing. It was -5, which is probably the coldest I ever remember it being here in the UK. -5 in Fahrenheit, 23 Fahrenheit, so unusually cold for London, for certain. And of course, during that extreme weather is when I happened to be traveling, and there was tons of fog to delay all of my flights, out and back, of course. So, today's puzzle from Michael Lefkowitz is all about heavy fog. Now, I'm not entirely sure what that means, but the variant around the fog today is that the grid is partially covered in fog, but it's really heavy fog, and I have no idea how to get rid of it. Sorry about that. So I'm not even sure we're going to be able to lift it today. But let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule set with Heavy Fog from Michael Lefkowitz. Rules-wise, we've got normal Sudoku rules, 6x6 here, so I guess the digits 1 to 6 once each in every row, every column, and every box. A box here is 2x3, rows, as usual, columns. Then we've got arrows that we can't exactly see because digits on an arrow sum to the digit in the attached circles. Arrows only move orthogonally and don't share cells. So you can see that based on this fog, that these two cells at least are part of an arrow, and whatever they add up to, let's say it's 1 and 2, this cell would have to be 3 to make sure that these cells, the sum of the arrow adds up to 3. Challenge, of course, is I can't actually see if this is heading up anywhere else or kind of changing. The main thing that we've been told is it only moves orthogonally. So, 1, 2, that couldn't be another cell because that would be diagonally. Neither would these. So we'll keep that in mind for our solve. And then fog, of course, you know what that means. There's a whole bunch of cells we can't see, and potentially we're not going to be seeing because for some reason we're not going to be able to get rid of it given how heavy the fog is. As always, to play along, link in the description down below for you to do so. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock, see how I get on. And yeah, you can see that there's a few things that are actually interesting with, obviously, kind of these arrow sums. So these two cells and these two cells, which we know are orthogonally in the same column, they are a minimum of 1, 2, 3, 4. We can't repeat them in the same column. Same in here. Meaning these two cells, at a minimum, add up to 10. And the thing is, to add up to 10, this is like 4 and 6, but potentially it could add up to 11 with 5 and 6. Meaning, obviously, the 6 was never going to be on the arrow, so there's definitely a 6 in here. There is no, there you go, that's the break-in. Right, so we know that with a 6 in one of these two cells and 6 in the middle, that 6 is going to be in one of these 4 cells. And it absolutely will not be on an arrow sum. So that means there is no 6 in here, there is a 6 in there, that is not a 6, and we have our break-in with a 6, and no fog being cleared. Just humor me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, no fog being cleared. Right, so 4 and 5 means, okay, so 6 means we're not going to have a double 3 in here. Sorry, just pausing for a second to think through. Yeah, of course, it is limited to 4 cells. I should have actually discounted that before I move forward. Because if I include 5 cells, that is 15. I can't get to a sum of 15. So these two cells are definitely out. And essentially that means that the 3 cannot be down here to get to 6. And that means that is a 2, 4, not 2 or 4. This is 1, 3. Can't have the 5 in here. So this is 5, 6. That is adding up to 4. And we clearly have our break-in. Now, same challenge here in that these are 4, 5, 6s, aren't they? Yeah, because it's the same exact logic with a 6 in here, which is clearly not on this cell. So it's a 6 there, 6 here, 5 here. Now, this is not the 6 because it's there. That is the 6. That is not a 6. That means that's not the 6. That's the 6. 4 or 5 mean, actually, up here, technically I can do 1 and 5 or 2 and 4 still. And technically I can do 1, 3 for the 4. I could do 2, 3. Can I do 1, 4? I don't know, actually. If I do 1, 4, that doesn't work, because 1, 4 means I can't do 1, 5 or 2, 4 up here. So there's no 4 there. It means there is definitely a 3. It's either 1, 3 or 2, 3. And that up here, whichever one is not in use, the 1, 3 or the 2, 3, that would be available to join with something to add up to. Okay, never mind. So what is actually left over on this cell? I'm not entirely certain. I have to use the 1s and 2s and 3s. So down here, it can only be 4 or 5. And the fact that I've already placed a 6, yeah, this is telling. Think about all the 6s I've already placed. I can actually place the last 6, which is in here. And therefore, whatever arrow sum this is, it's not going to add up to anything like 6. Maximum is 5. Therefore, there'll be a 4 with a 1, 5 pair here. Essentially, there will be a 1 plus the 4 to add up to 5 in one direction. I don't know which one. Meaning no 4s, meaning this is a 1, 5 pair, meaning this is a 1, 3 pair, and therefore this is another 4. Then we're left with 2, 5, 2, 3, 1, 4, 2, 3. I'm not liking this, by the way, because I'm not. Oh, there we go. This is the arrow sum that we care about. Right, this arrow, we know it's not changing direction because this is part of an arrow. So this arrow sum is clearly going to be going into here. And it can't end there. It can't be a circle because these two digits would have to be the same. Whatever these two add up to, it's not going to be 1. So that's a 4. That's a 1. This would have to be a 1, 3 pair. That's a 5. That's another 2, 3, except we've got a 1, 3. So that's 2. That's 3. That's 2. That's a 5. Therefore, that's a 1. That's a 5. That's a 3. That's a 1. I've made a total screw up here. So sorry. Rewind, rewind. Oh God, I'm going to have to rewind quite a bit. Sorry, I don't know how I managed to do that. That this is actually a 2, 3, 5. At least spotted it. 1, 4. Right, same logic here, isn't it? Yeah, 2 3s. So that hasn't changed. 2 3s, 1 4. Therefore, that is a 4. Therefore, that is 1 3. That is 5. That is 1. That's another 2 3. The 1 3 is placed. Therefore, that's a 2, a 3, a 2, a 5, a 1, a 5, a 3, a 1. Don't know. Of course, we do know what this is. 2. Therefore, 3, 2. 1 4 5. It's not 1 or 5. It's 4. It's 3. It's 1, 3, 1. Oh yeah, the 5 gave me the 1, the 5, the 4, the 2, the 4, the 3. And if I've not made any other silly mistakes like I did earlier, 2 for the finish. Fantastic puzzle, Michael. You know, plays very smoothly, so loved it. At the same time, the fact that it's heavy fog, very disconcerting. The fact that no matter what you do, you don't get that confidence that you're on the right track or that you made a mistake with your pencil marks. But that's a fantastic idea. I really, really enjoyed it. Straightforward puzzle. 6-minute solve means I'm almost certainly going to be posting another one for the weekend, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, both the puzzle and the video, and I'll see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.